been a while since I've been on FF14, hasn't it? Well, I'm gonna be on here for a little bit, and if you want to hop on and say hi, I don't really have a problem with that. Anywho, let's start with what's going on. Currently, I'm recovering from surgery, so my body is not exactly in a very, happy position. The surgery, was quite personal, and honestly, I don't really want to talk about it. So if you are in any way, shape, or form want to know about it, please just know it is just not really something I really want to talk about to people. Okay? Thank you. So, anywho, I was going to talk about a few other things. Oh yeah, I have to be a weaver for that one. Anyway, I was going to discuss another few things going on. Anyway, since I'm on LOA for a little while, I am going to be hopping on here off and on just to have fun, not think about the fact that I just had, surgery and stuff. So, anywho, aside from the fact that I'm getting bombarded by my mother constantly messaging me, I guess we can talk about a few things. Why I did not go to Nandasacon this year. Money. Biggest reason. Also, I just didn't want to go. It's not that I don't like anime, I love it. It's just, after years of going to a con and having the same person over and over and over and over again, constantly asking me why I didn't ask him out, why I never... Yeah, you get the idea. But yeah, I'm just gonna talk about a few things, a couple things, that have happened over the times, I've been gone. Aside from the fact that, yes, I will be hopping on Alicization as well, and playing that. I will be going back to Legends of Mana, if you've ever actually wanted to watch me play that. Legend of Mana is one of my favorites, so yeah, I'll be right back. Okay. So, let's just do a mild discussion of a few things that happened. Honestly, I really don't want to be up for discussing things that could possibly be an issue. The issue could be a lot of things, and one of which, this is a slicey dicey topic, because I don't like talking about it. I also don't like talking about relatives, because, honestly, this was not my intention to open up this page anymore, but, what I decided to do, and as much as it irritates my former brother-in-law and his wife, I've chosen to be very distant for this situation. It is not because I do not trust them. I do not trust anything anybody says anyway. It is more the fact that I have had to deal with relatives that are complete and utter not the greatest. My relatives are actually pretty decent people. It's everybody else I don't trust. And it's not them that I don't trust. It's everything else. Like dealing with my mother, or dealing with my, with somebody like my former brother-in-law. I don't hate him. I really don't. I don't like what he did. I don't care about what he did entirely. But I don't really want to be dealing with the drama of being in a situation where I'm supposed to take sides. And, of course, he also knows I don't like taking sides. FYI, this is why I told his wife I don't want to take sides in the matter, and she kind of respects my decision-making on this one. I don't hate the fact that I have to decide on something that isn't partially my decision, considering the person that is involved in this is dead. And while I love my little sister, she's dead. And I don't want to be thrown into that kind of problem where mentally I could probably handle it, but emotionally I'm pretty much dead on arrival. Just so you know what that means, it means I am emotionally drained. I don't really particularly see any future per se. I don't want to give up on my nephew. I don't think I will, but I will be giving up on some of the family members who are possibly just causing more problems than what I really, really want to deal with. And that is not a fair concept to be put into, considering who I'm dealing with. And the fact is, yes, I know that he's probably going to watch this and call me a fucking bitch about it, but say what you will, Brian. You can do whatever, but honestly, I don't want to be drawn into a fight between you and my mother. I don't have a choice in the matter. I was born into this family and I don't care. My parents, are awesome. But my mother is just somebody I tend to avoid like the plague of... I just want to be avoiding the plague. And it isn't as if I cannot say, hey, I love you, Mom, but you know what? You're not exactly a decent person to deal with some days. And I don't want to be one of those people that has to go into a fight, into a firefight, and fight a fucking battle with my mother. I love my mom. I really do. I just hate what she does to people. And I hate what she does to me, because I am constantly having to have a freaking battle on wearing armor and having my head yelled off for... Yeah, you get the idea. So, this is probably the biggest reason I love playing video games, because I know my mother won't be playing them. Because I know my mom has the hand dexterity of... I mean, this is a woman who can't even play DDR. I'm not lying. My mother can't play DDR. She tried. And failed horrifyingly. I loved her, but that was absolutely the funniest thing I've ever watched, is my mother trying to play DDR because her eye-foot coordination bloody sucks. just an FYI on that one. I think it's pretty obvious that anyone who has ever interacted with my mother has never actually seen my mom do some of the stuff she says she does, and some of it is downright stupid. FYI, yes, I know my mother is a wonderful person in all sarcastic forms of admiration, but when your mother tells you you're supposed to love your parents unconditionally when all bets are off when she does not get what she wants, it gets kind of disturbing to me. But I love my mother, I really do, but I hate the fact that she makes me pick sides. I don't like picking sides, I honestly don't, because it is just that whole fact of picking sides is just never easy. I do want to mention that I have had to deal with that drama for years, and it is not... I just don't understand half the battle right now, because half the battle between me and my mother has always been about how everybody in my family has always talked about my sister and how amazing my little sister was. And it was that whole, you've always had luck with Morella, but for me, that is one of the biggest problems I ever had, is my mother is the worst individual when it comes to discussing how I feel. And I just don't know how I feel when she does that to me. Like when I tried to tell her I don't like certain sci-fi movies, but she'll make me watch them anyway, even though I hate them. Or that one time she made me watch a horror movie with my sister, knowing full well that it was going to give me nightmares, but unfortunately I had to watch it anyway. Thank you for the mini nightmares of Hellraiser, Mother. Yes, I watched Hellraiser with my mother, and I absolutely hated it. But I don't think that there's anything really wrong with when you are with your parent and your child does not want to be the same way as you. That is just a way most parents are. Not able to understand that their oldest child probably has hobbies outside of, say, watching the most awful horror movie known to man. By the way, if you've ever watched Last House on the Left, the original version, it is god-awful. It gave me and my sister nightmares. And honestly, after I saw that movie, I really didn't want to be around anybody. And people were like, oh, it's a great... No, it's not. It is freaking... just traumatic. It is just awful. My family absolutely thought it was... I watched it, and to be quite frank, I'm kind of glad it got an update, but I really don't approve of that story basis. It is very, very gross. It's very, very bad, and people get really, I just don't know how to talk about something like that in terms of if I really want this to get monetized one day. I really don't want to discuss that kind of material in horror movies in general, because there were people who actually went through that and are traumatized by it. And I really don't feel happy when I hear somebody tell me, yeah, that really happened to me. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. When I tell people, and this goes with what people call SA. If you've ever had somebody who had SA happen to them, it is very awful. My mother obviously probably thought Last House on the Left was a really good movie. For me, it was just awful. It was disgusting. The characters in it were poorly rendered. The characters in it were poorly written. And I honestly don't know how else I can say this without sounding like a frickin' Karen. I don't want to sound like a Karen. I really don't. I feel really bad. But I also don't feel like it is my word to say, hey, I would appreciate it if you didn't discuss this when you have a bunch of minors running around, because these minors may not approve or appreciate something this terrible. I am really sorry. But yeah, if you at any point have ever encountered that, I would say that movie is just... I'm sorry. I can't say enough how sorry I am for anyone who's ever gone through that and not be taken seriously. I went through a lot with my own issues with SA, and I don't want to discuss it with people, because people, when I told somebody, they didn't believe me because, oh my god, you were only 6, he was probably playing doctor. Luring a bunch of girls into a bathroom does not qualify as playing doctor, people. I'm just saying. But, like I said, it is what it is. I feel bad for anyone who has seen that movie, who have gone through that and have not been taken seriously. FYI, I know how you feel, because people don't take anything seriously, especially if it's based in a movie. I really don't like that. I don't know if the director even knew the situation of which this was affiliated with, but you know, I just don't know. People will do what they wish with whatever material they find, and it just turns into a total disaster. I had that happen at an anime convention as well. FYI, a friend of mine who's a girl, I shall not name her, her situation involved a certain person we call Weeaboo Billy. Weeaboo Billy claimed that he was, that she convinced him to go to, you know, and honestly, I would take everything Billy says with a grain of salt, considering his attitude and his childish behavior. He acts like a child. He treats everybody like he has done nothing wrong, even though he has hurt people. This is a guy who sexually assaulted a minor, and then he said that it was her fault. FYI, that is not the way you behave. FYI, he got mad at me because I told him to go take a fucking chill pill because I don't date children. I don't date his kind. I don't date his kind, and that is what pissed him off most, is because I told him I don't date minors, especially people who are mentally still challenged like that. He still thinks he is an adult, and he is not. His mental age has always been 12, and he's treated me like I was supposed to dump my husband and date him, even though mentally I don't want to date him. His entire thing is he is obsessed with the fact that he mentally does not understand that what he does actually is damaging to other people. If you've ever actually had to deal with him on an emotional scale, he is extremely childish. His mental age generally pisses me off because the anime community in Colorado usually he will blame people for things. He will mentally blame people for things that he believes are not his fault, and technically they are his fault. So, wonderful thing about being in a community of anime nerds, that there are those who are extremely adult-like and do actually follow through. One of them is my friend Dirk Mez, who, if you've ever watched any of his YouTube stuff, I highly recommend, because he is very, very, he's very intellectual, very he does not like, what this kid did to me, and honestly, not many people in the fandom one of his biggest issues that Weeaboo Billy had was when I rejected him openly, and I told him the reason why was his mental age was that of a 4-year-old, and that I did not feel comfortable dealing with somebody with that mental capacity, that one, that's taking advantage of somebody, and two, he used the fact that I am learning disabled as a fucking reason to take advantage of me. And that is even worse, because being LD in this country is extremely detrimental to your mental health, because people will actually use your LD as a type of crutch. And that is the worst thing I've ever felt, is having somebody use me as a crutch. that is probably the worst thing I have ever felt, is somebody actually telling me that because he is learning disabled, I am supposed to be, as a learning disabled adult, I am supposed to also date him. I have actually been told that by people that because he is a disabled person, I am also learning disabled myself. I don't get a choice in who I marry or who I date. That it is predestined that I have to be his quote-unquote girlfriend, even though I do not like him. That was actually told to me by another person in the fandom who kind of just said, well, it's a shame that you chose not to treat him like a human being. And I was like, I did treat him like a human being. And then he turned around and used that whole I am a pedophile, blah blah blah. FYI, yes. This individual is a pedophile. He does have the inclinations. He does treat people with those kind of issues. And then he turns around and says, I am going to... he has done it multiple times. He has done it to me. And he has done it to a lot of people who do not want to be part of his agenda. The one that got me was the one where he actually told a 14-year-old that because of the relationship between them, which is very sus, that I don't remember exactly the conversation. I remember her just talking to me on Facebook for maybe all of 20 minutes regarding the situation. And that situation turned actually pretty dark, considering he actually said that he would actually dox her on the fandom. On any fandom that she joined, that went because of how she treated people. I will tell you that the situation regarding that was back in oh my god, that was so long ago. I don't know. It was just really, really frightening to me that he would actually do that to a minor and make a whole situation where a minor has to act like an adult because he can't be an adult about anything. And I just got so frustrated because the girl came to me and told me, this is what's happening, I need to talk to somebody. And I said, you need to get away from him. And two, this is not an adult this is a situation, you need to get the adults involved. I'm an adult, but I can't do anything for you because unfortunately I'm not your parent and I can't say yay or nay. But what I can tell you is you can get the cops involved if you need to. And she ultimately chose to get the cops involved. But unfortunately, because of the way Weeaboo Billy works, they couldn't do anything. Because, OMG, he is learning disabled or mentally disabled. So therefore, it is not their problem. Ha! Very funny, very cute. Not cute to me. So, all of this took place... and I was so frustrated. To the point that I could not believe people were doing this to me, especially since since this whole entire debacle of the entire thing, and it just turned into a shit show. I could not believe people were believing him, because OMG, he is a fucking, I mean, I could not believe people in the fucking fandom were believing him. And they were telling me, oh, he's a minor. I just could not handle any of that, and it just got to the point where I just stood there for 20 minutes at a fucking meetup going, why? Why are we all just believing a fucking child? A man baby. Why are we believing him? And not this young girl who is obviously telling the truth. And of course, I get told she's not telling the truth, blah blah blah, he's learning disabled, he can't believe anything she says, he doesn't understand, he doesn't understand personal space. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. But unfortunately, Keith Richards, or I can't believe I name dropped him. Okay, I can't believe people in the fandom believe that Weeaboo Billy is a fucking saint when he absolutely can't even be trusted with a fucking, yeah. Can you imagine the entirety of the fucking fandom after somebody tells you, by the way, he's a pedo? Are you a fucking idiot? It turned into such a shit show that I just sort of like, okay, if I have to sit through this entire fandom, I am going to fucking kill myself. Because it is the most unequivocally asinine thing to deal with. Is I am not a babysitter. I am not the adult who has to go, I have to take care of this guy. And it is so ridiculous when people go, oh, you're such a good person. Why don't you ever date him? I don't know, maybe because I'm actually not interested in sex with a pedophile, or I'm not interested in being his GFF after the way he treats girls. Because OMG, I'm not a fucking pedophile. I love how people in the fucking fandom think that because I just decided to, I don't know, actually side with an adult, that suddenly the adults in the group are a bunch of fucking idiots. It is fucking ridiculous, people. How much the anime fandom believes the lies and the shitty ass bullshit an entire group of people can come up with. And one of the worst is the fact that the entire fandom believes that Weeaboo Billy is completely innocent. Because, oh, he's learning disabled. You can't possibly... He's innocent because he's learning disabled. You can't just treat a learning disabled adult like a fucking... You can't... That is like the entire issue I've had with the fandom for years, is the fact that they actually will... They're not part of the fandom, but also because the person in the entirety of the fucking group are a bunch of fucking immature children. Hello, everybody's an idiot. because honestly, I don't want to be the adult who takes care of a child, especially one who treats So as I said before, the whole thing with Weeaboo Billy is, and I'm sorry I name dropped him, is that he told a bunch of people who are adults. So yeah, that's the biggest problem I've had, is dealing with the drama of a bunch of idiots who can't figure out that everybody is a bunch of fucking morons who can't do anything for themselves. Thanks a lot, I'm not done dealing with drama. thing is getting heavy. That's where I need to go. Please, oh please, oh please, make it. Oh boy. I hate these kind of missions. Go away. So it appears that I completed the quests with the Sylphs, which is nice. Now I can focus on the other beast tribes that I've been neglecting. Isn't it wonderful? No, really it's not. So, anywho, I guess that's just, I don't know, that's how the cookie crumbles some days. But yeah, that was the whole issue. The whole thing with Weeaboo Billy is still an ongoing issue, so it'll be one for a very long time. Problem is, with my community of anime nerds, they don't want to talk out, and they don't want to tell somebody, hey, this is going on, please stop it. Because, unfortunately, the fandom believes that everybody should be accepted, regardless of who they are, even if that person turns out to be a awful individual. And I honestly do not like that concept because it actually does more damage to the fan base, because it also means that people like myself who are not part of the fandom that does not want drama get sucked into the drama regardless of how I feel about it. What the hell? Somebody wanted to trade with me? Damn it. I'm trying to go somewhere! So, yeah, that's my whole issue with that. If you want to talk to me about the situation with, the issues in any fandom, generally, my concept of it is, as long as the drama exists, you're gonna have issues, and that's the problem with every fandom under their sun. FYI, I don't really understand. So, yeah, I don't get it. Personally, if you are friends with certain people, please don't ever feel like you have to be friends with somebody regardless of the fact that the person is part of the fan base, because that is kind of the reason why the situation is as bad as it is, because in the Colorado anime community, that fandom mentality of you have to be part of this in order to be accepted is kind of getting old and kind of getting disgusting. But if you want to know my stance on everything, my stance has always been to do our own thing, have fun, play video games, do whatever. I made some new friends anyway throughout the entirety of my experience with the fandom. My whole thing is I got to meet people that I absolutely adore, and those are people that I treasure and enjoy their camaraderie more than I enjoy being around the entirety of a fan base that does not enjoy that kind of behavior. The behavior that is most likely a problem is generally the one where you have to sit there and go, ooh, do I really want to be part of this? No. You do not need to be part of anything that is uncomfortable or extremely disquieting. I had to deal with that for years, being that the Colorado community just did not treat others like they want to be treated. They treated me like I was a fucking... The other wonderful thing about the other fandoms that I'm in, and this includes the furry fandom, which yes, I'm going to admit, yes, I am a furry, but I am not like one of those really big type of furries in the fan base. I just don't feel that is absolutely necessary. I'm what they call a wild furry, a furry that's unaffiliated. An unaffiliated fur does not, wilds don't really join groups as much. You just sit there and you wonder, are we really gonna do anything? Are we going to do anything that could cause damage? Probably not. We're not the type of furries that do this. We don't dig up drama. We don't cause drama. We just sit there and go, whatever. We're not interested. We just don't want to deal with you. And people think, oh my god, you're one of those. That's just like, yes, I am. But I'm not one of those that wants to be part of your drama. Do I have to be part of the drama? No, I don't. Do I have to be part of the fandom that does not want to be part of this fandom? Yes, I am. issue that I find interesting with some fandoms, and it's been kind of an ongoing problem, is the fact that we have people that believe that it is their job to bring politics into it. Let's put it this way. As much as the Republican Party wants to be part of every little devious thing that they want to be part of, please stay out of my frickin' fandoms. You guys just don't belong there, and I don't care who Marjorie Taylor Greene is. I don't care who Lauren Blowhard, whatever the fuck she's called. FYI. Yes, I will make fun of the bitch anytime. He literally got mad at me. Literally, one of my friends got mad at me because I told them I do not have anything against anyone who voted for her, but please keep it out of the fandom. We don't need it. I know politics is everywhere these days, but honestly, I really don't like seeing it in the fandoms because it just doesn't help us. It just puts a division in our fandom on beliefs and things that shouldn't be yelled at or taken so seriously at times. We get into the fandom to get away from that drama. Nice. So, before anyone judges me on what I have to say, please be aware that you are not... I don't find it wrong that you're politically active. I find it wrong when somebody forces the politics into the fandom and uses that as a way of judging other people who are not trying to be involved. It is just a kind of, hey, let's force this because, I don't know, I just want to be a dickhead about it. And that in itself actually causes a lot more friction in the fan base, and that kind of friction actually hurts the fandom in general. And as much as people love putting things like politics into anime or sci-fi, I'm just going to mention that there are some sci-fi things that I absolutely love that really should not have politics in it because it makes it worse before making it better. Just putting it out there. I know that that's kind of pushing it, but So yeah. That's just my point of view on things. I don't mind if people are political, as long as you're not trying to force it on everybody else on the planet. I don't really care if you voted for whoever, just as long as you don't force it. Unfortunately, the only issue I had was with someone who was a Trumpy, who, pretty much treated me like I was an uncultured idiot, considering that, yes, he is in the military, but that doesn't make it right to treat somebody who is not military as if they, not to mention this is an individual who probably couldn't draw a stick figure and was calling me a Crayola artist. I got very pissed off about that because I'm not a Crayola artist. I use Crayola markers and colored pencils because it's cheap. I am sorry, those are like buku, like, cheap product. That means good quality products that are extremely not that expensive. But I would mention that the more expensive stuff you buy, usually the quality goes down quite a bit. So sometimes stuff like Crayola or even the cheapy markers that you think are really, really cheesy and cheap, Okay, the reason I'm focusing on a lot of this is because, honestly, I am trying to keep up, getting Beast Tribe stuff first. There's other missions I could run through, but honestly, right now, I'd like to get this done, because I'd like to get, as much of my reputation up as possible. But also the fact is I'd like to actually have some fun with this. The other thing that I was going to point out as a nerd and fan of whatever nerdy things I can come up with, I am thinking about starting a new character on here, but honestly, because I'm stuck on One Life, One World, for One World, I am just sort of like, okay, what do I do? I'm not very good at this, I am terrible. This has been kind of a bad taste in my mouth, that I am a completionist by nature, and this is not completing it at all, considering I am running out of ideas. So, what do I do? Okay. Now I get to unload some stuff onto my little couriers, and we can get started on breaking things down so I can actually trade things. Alright, I'm gonna say goodbye for now, guys. Talk to you later. Oh, come on, guys.